All right, here we go. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the newest episode of Comic Town Hall. I'm Victor Dandridge.
I'm Tim Winkle.
I'm Ryan Chatter Seymore.
I'm Mr. X.
He's Mr. X. Shelby X.
He doesn't want to be.
He doesn't want to be known. He doesn't want to. You wouldn't. Yeah, I understand.
The artist formerly known as.
it's a squiggly.
It's a symbol.
It's a squiggly symbol. It's amazing. So we're gonna make this one short, sweet, and to the pizzoint. First and foremost, Fight Club 2 is on comic shelves today, ladies and gentlemen. There is magic on that page. We read it last night for Black, White, and Red all over, and hot damn if this is not Chuck Pyle and I returned, perfect, voice not lost, once again as if he never left. Ryan, I know you read it as well. We did very well for being spoiler free yesterday,
Which was extremely tough.
Extraordinarily hard.
Yeah.
I am in love with this book, though. The more I think about it, the more I love it.
Yeah, if you're worried about spoilers, whoever's listening, 13 of you, skip ahead. Just skip ahead. I'll give you a moment.
Moment's done.
Oh shit! Yeah, it was insane. It was so good. Yeah, it's like it didn't miss a beat between the original novel and its comic incarnation for the second half of the story.
And that's the thing, man. Most of the time when you hear oh, we're doing a sequel years later, how many things have actually successfully sequelized years later? I'll give Aliens.
Yeah. But that was radically different.
That's true. It was very radically different. Okay, Terminator 2. We'll say Terminator 2. There we go. As any sort of possible, years later, they're returning, and you're not I freaking hate this.
Almost everything else has been a letdown.
Yeah.
This though is just amazing. Just the way they integrate the art into the storytelling. My only complaint, and this is such a I can't even write my own biography, so I'm not heckling Chuck or anything. It was weird having a name to attach.
Yes.
That just felt weird to me.
Yes. To finally call him
have a name.
Yeah.
Is
awkward.
I agree, and by that we mean Ed Norton's character.
Yes.
For anyone who's I don't know who you're talking about.
And honestly, for me, if you were going to attach a name, it should be Jack. I said this on the show yesterday, when we had the I am Jack's call him Jack. That ties in, and I would get with that.
Kind of makes sense with the whole I'm Jack smirking revenge.
Exactly. That was. Yeah, the name that they give him is Sebastian. I wonder where it came from. Little Mermaid fan, maybe?
Yeah, I would love to know the story behind that.
Right.
Because nothing in his writing that I've experienced through the novels and short stories, nothing is just rando thrown in because I need
on the cover that I just noticed, because one of the three covers they have is a half and half of Sebastian and Tyler. And a bunch of pills and everything. On the pill bottles, they don't have a last name.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
So all we have is Sebastian is a name. That's it. That's all we've got. What I do love with the pills especially is the way that they're integrated into the storytelling as visual pieces, sometimes obscuring words, pictures. They are playing a part. Yeah, faces, everything. They are actually adding to the visual experience of reading. So that it is more than just words and pictures on a page. It is an experience, true to life. It is awesome. Very awesome.
Cameron Stewart's art is great.
It's brilliant for this. Yeah. Absolutely brilliant. Again, we need. It was it the Chemical Brothers or the Dust Brothers?
I think it was Chemical Brothers.
Okay, I think it was the Chemical Brothers. We need a soundtrack. That just needs to happen. We need notes somewhere that says this is the song to listen to. Give me some, something. I need something. Because that would make this. How long does this go for?
I don't think they've said.
Yeah,
I might be wrong, but I don't think they've said. I would imagine 12 or 18 issues.
Oh my God, that's fantastic.
I want to go back and read the first book.
Yes.
Because it's been 8 years since I've read the first novel.
It's been a little while for me. It's definitely my favorite novel of all time, really. But this one, doesn't miss anything.
Yeah, one of my favorite parts is how there's two separate support structures, one for each side of Sebastian and Tyler's personality.
Yeah.
And from Sebastian's perspective, how terrifying is that there are people that still think of him
as Tyler.
As Tyler.
Well, you almost have to wonder, like, are they responding to him that way because of who he was, or because that's who he is?
Yeah.
Like, still.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought of it, like, truly thought of it until Tim was flipping through it, and the notion of when he comes home and the babysitter pulls a knife on him.
Yeah.
That lets me know that he's come home as Tyler before.
Yeah.
And that's cool. Like,
Well, that, and you've got, like, the club is still going, because, like, the second page is someone, like, he knows it's his anniversary.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's got a beat up face and giving him flowers, like, oh, no charge, not for you, sir.
Right.
You know what I mean? And, like, so that's still ongoing.
Right.
You know, and Sebastian just following his wife around,
which was brilliant.
Yeah.
Now, okay,
It's so the opposite of Tyler.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Now, in this world where Tyler Durden has existed for 9 years prior, obviously when the book first came out was in the late 90s.
Yeah.
The movie came out in 99, I think.
believe, yeah.
Sounds about right.
All right,
yeah.
so we're dealing with the post 9/11 inclusiveness of Tyler Durden. What do you like? I mean, considering the level of terrorism that they played around with in the movie, at the very least. What do you think we will see? Like, are we like? Is this dangerous territory to talk about a character like this?
I don't know, like, and like we said, spoilers. You know, Tyler still comes out.
Yes.
3 times a week for 50 minutes and does his little. It's more like guerrilla warfare.
Right. I mean, but in the sense
it's
of
the same. I mean,
domestic terrorism.
Yeah.
Or
Because
my thought process was totally different on Durden. Like, I never thought of it as acts of aggression or acts of terrorism. I looked at it as militant acts of social justice and trying to get humanity back on the path. Like, everybody's using credit cards, so like if we blow up these buildings, gone. We have to start all over.
Now, is it just in the sense of everybody using it, or the idea of what happens when you are trapped by credit card debt? So you have that whole 9 of, because you're trapped by credit card debt, they're able to enforce a literal working class that's always trying to work down those numbers. But if you take them out, people are free to pursue what they want and be who they want to be.
And companies are constantly mass marketing, so you have to keep buying stuff to buy the stuff you need, the credit, and then it keeps going. And personal freedom was one of the big credos of Tyler. And in this, I think it can be very easily described as terrorist activity. But I get the feeling that he has refined his attempts at social justice and what he's doing. And it's a smarter, more focused, less mayhem Tyler. Which is
scary.
Should be
like
terrifying.
That's like, it's very exciting, but absolutely terrifying. I do find it interesting, just as we were talking about, the notion that Sebastian as a name is it, but we know Tyler Durden is a fully fleshed out individual. Like, that's a guy, and we know that guy. And them having any sort of interactions is hilarious and brilliant. Like, just, oh my God. And Marla, like, in her request of wanting Tyler,
the
like,
shit out of Marla Singer.
God,
I've felt that way for 15 years.
Seriously, I mean, like, but like the notion that she truly loved Tyler, like in the sense of the danger and the aspirations of what he had, like, she loved that man, and
she's got not him,
no part of that right now, and that's the part where you're like, geez, that sucks. Like, you fall in love with this person, and then you realize that person is not there. Like, as a divorcee, I can tell you, I've been there. Like, that literally speaks to me on a huge level.
That
where it's like,
fallen in love with at best a fictitious character.
Yes, and you're like, son of a bitch. Like, there's nothing else you can say other than, like, I'm gonna sabotage your medicine and hope that the other guy comes out. Or you ask for them in the middle of the night and get your wildest desires fulfilled, which is. Yes, that's wonderful. That's absolutely wonderful. If you guys don't get this, you're fools. Like, that's number one.
Yeah.
Like, you have to get this. David Mack, who's doing cover work for it, has been very, very open and supportive of any shout-outs for Fight Club.
He's active on that, and with good cause.
Yeah,
it's having his name attached to a book this insane is fantastic.
Just brilliant.
I think there's a scene earlier in it where Sebastian's. I'm the weird guy because I'm not rooting for Sebastian. I think Sebastian is the usurper, and Tyler is the true the true person.
He's got a Don Johnson lip bite.
No, yeah, that's like there's a page of Marla and Tyler having sex.
Yeah,
and it's a blimp exploding and
cars crashing. Yeah. Come on, man, this is what that feels like. You feel it. You're there. You know you want it. Which one?
His son is on the phone.
Yes.
Getting instructions on how to make explosives.
Yes.
Who's he talking to?
He's talking, like, because I think that there are different times of things. Like, if you go to this point, who is he talking to?
Yeah.
And I think that's what that is. Like, he's leaving messages. And how awesome would it if Tyler Durden was your dad? Oh my God.
Well, I mean, he'd probably be a kid that's learning how to make explosives.
Daggone right. Like, science class, science fair is going to be the bomb, literally.
Or would you want to fight your dad?
Dude, of course you would. Just like, that's part of the family culture. Like, you sit down and it's like, listen, you got dirt on your lips, son.
Yeah.
It's time to go outside. You're like, wait, what? First rule of Fight Club is we don't talk about this. Yeah. You just don't talk about it. You know, I think that's gonna be fun, man.
How old are you when you're indoctrinated?
Oh my God! So apparently,
yeah.
I mean, because he's
9.
Right. Like, he's building dioramas of destruction. I mean, this is fantastic.
He's learning how to make gunpowder.
Right.
I think anybody that's looking to pick this up for like a superficial, like big explosions and shit thing is missing out.
Yeah.
There are many layers to it.
Yes, that must be looked at.
Yeah, because I could spend the next hour and a half debating with you guys who's the protagonist in it. Like, what are the goals of the character?
That's fair. Now, would you have had the same argument on the first volume of it, or you feel like that was pretty straightforward, at least in its delivery? Like, it gave it to us where Tyler was much more of the seeming anarchist antagonist, if you will, versus being the thing that was trying to be let out and free to be, and Sebastian, as they're now calling him, was this uber oppressor tyrant.
I think that in the original novel, it was because we were introduced to Sebastian first,
right?
That we became sympathetic to him. It's like, oh man, someone blew his apartment up.
Right. Yeah. So sad.
And in reality, it's Tyler. Tyler is just trying to bring him into the light, and in my opinion, because there's so many concepts. The one about buying things to impress people you don't like with money you don't have.
Right.
We live that life.
We do.
I had just had a random thought, like, while we're talking about Fight Club. What if Tyler Durden was the main psyche, the main personality, and Sebastian is the one that's created?
That's I think what Ryan is kind of leaning towards. Yeah, that Tyler was there, and then somehow Sebastian is what was created to fit in better. But it took over, and it went further than it was supposed to, and Tyler had to fight his way back.
Yeah.
Like, that's...
I think that's what you're getting at.
That's kind of...
Yeah, because I think neither is a healthy personality.
Right.
By any stretch of imagination.
On its own. Yeah, no, not at all. Switching gears a little bit, speaking of layers, so Convergence number 8 has come out, and Tim brought this up after seeing an article on CBR.
Yeah.
That basically it looks like the end result of this is that the myriad of different tales and instances in DC's history are now indicative of individual Earth planes,
universes,
universi. I don't know.
Like, one hand, I really like it, and on the other hand, it's super confusing.
Yeah, like, there's a 2-page spread in issue 8, and it took me a second to fully discern exactly what it was saying. But it does look like, what Tim was talking about is like each storyline is its own Earth, essentially, or at least era of comics is its own Earth.
So we kind of knew that like Kingdom Come is its own planet,
right?
And Red Sun is its own planet,
right?
But now
it's more than that.
It's a little bit more than that because now, like the 90s, like 0 Hour,
right,
is its own world now.
But there's transitions. Like what we figured was the figures behind the world are that's your past incarnation idea, but the ones in the front is what this is going to be now. With the idea that these figures that have gone back to face Infinite Crisis, which I believe is let's see, we've got Flash, Supergirl, Parallax, Superman, and I'm guessing that's Lois and their kid. Why they're
because that's like that's like different incarnations because it's like 0 Hour, but then this one I thought was pre-New 52, like right before Flashpoint.
Was it Superman and Lois have a baby?
No,
did I miss that?
Like it's something they introduced.
Something they did at some point.
In Convergence.
Got you.
Like you open up like Superman Convergence, Superman #1, and she's pregnant.
Okay, got you. At some point, these guys go back and fight in Infinite Crisis or before Infinite Crisis actually happens, and therefore sets all of these worlds free to essentially evolve and become without Crisis happening and consequently forming those things. It's convoluted.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty good with like DC continuity.
Right.
And I'm
not anymore.
Yeah, I'm out. Like
you're tapped out. You can't
because.
Go ahead.
Like we had talked about earlier, like this is going to sound like I'm speaking from the Bible, but like all of these things happened. Crisis on Infinite Earths, 0 Hour, Infinite Crisis, Flashpoint. They all happen on Earth 0 now.
Right.
Like this begat that, and that begat that, and now 0 Hour is its own planet. So like, where do you start?
Where's your history?
Where's your history start on Earth 0? Because you've said multiple times like this isn't the way the world should be, and the timeline is screwed up. Da da da. So like, where does that begin now?
So it looks like with the reset, all of those things, that sentiment no longer can apply. Like
So now your continuity on Earth 0 starts at Justice League #1.
Right.
So you can't have the question.
Well, no. I guess. Well, no. Technically, not Justice League #1 because in Action Comics, where he's got the T-shirt and all that stuff.
Then Action Comics.
Yeah, that's so.
But like what I'm saying is like multiple times like I've seen like the question talks to Pandora because the part of the Trinity or whatever. Like, oh, this isn't the way the world should be because Barry Allen went and screwed it up.
Right. And he knew that.
And he knew that.
But
and the question in Pandora, like they know what it is before Flashpoint.
And so maybe this undoes that. Like it fractures it and it settles it. Like Ryan's eye is twitching. Y'all can't see it right now.
Yeah. So so what I'm saying is like if you're gonna make 0 Hour its own planet,
right?
Is 0 Hour between 0 Hour and Flashpoint its own world now, and they were just not in this? Do you see what I mean?
Yeah. Or like Flashpoint story continues to a certain point, but or the 0 Hour story continues to a certain point, but Flashpoint as a marker now has separated into its own world, and so there's an idea that we could explore where 0 Hour would have gone beyond the events of Flashpoint.
Before we continue this conversation, if this argument is on an episode of The Big Bang Theory, I'm killing myself.
Don't put that out there, man, because they'll do it just to tempt you. Yeah, it's like, do it, Tim. Do it. I think the biggest question, though, is whether or not this new reestablished worlds are going to be their own individualized series for people to actually explore. Are we going to get 0 Hour Justice League or Flashpoint,
pre-Flashpoint, Batman, or whatever?
Are we gonna get those? Are we divulging into an Elseworld style system that fully renders and fleshes out storylines where
I'd be all right with that. Like
I think that's an interesting move.
It's a it's a line that I wish they would bring back is Elseworlds.
Got you. But I mean, what if as a line that is what DC now is? Like all of it is Elseworlds, because like what they would do is not necessarily have like JLA Earth 2, JLA Earth 3.
Yeah, like,
it would be JLA is on this particular world, but in the title Crime Syndicate, it's this particular world. So you're not necessarily paring down titles.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, like, but I think you're just going right back to where you were in 1985.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, like, I mean, that's literally what this is, undoing everything of Infinite Crisis, or Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah.
Definitely is dismantling that. Ryan is shaking his head. You can't. You need a crazy wall, sir.
I think that you're getting back to where you were in 1985, where it's all just too confusing. You've got way too much going on.
And there's a reason why we went away from that. Like, it's so funny how, history repeats itself. People, you get all excited, like, we can do stuff. No,
it's
you
like
shouldn't
cyclical.
do that,
and then in 2027 for the 40th anniversary of Crisis on Infinite Earths. Crisis on Infinite Earths Volume 2.
No shit, Crisis Part 3.
Right.
Yeah, like
Crisis 3, The Return.
Yeah, the Crisising.
In Crisis 3, Superman gets drunk and fights himself, and it's amazing.
Yeah, it's just they're gonna start taking like movie titles like Crisis Forever,
Crisis Forever,
Crisis Begins,
Age of Crisis.
Yeah.
Why do they keep? You got rid of the multiple universes.
Right.
Brought the multiple universes back. Got rid of the multiple universes. Brought the multiple universes back. Just pick one.
They can't. I mean, how do you choose when it's right now, but it's wrong later on?
Just right. Like you can have a Justice League book,
right,
and just clearly state it is on Earth 0 or whatever,
right,
and then you can have a Crime Syndicate book, and it's on.
Earth 3.
I think I'm fine if they do like random miniseries, but like ongoings might be a little weird. But like you have to put like on the cover, like you have to put what world it is. Like on Multiversity, how they had like the top is like 0 and it goes down to 52.
Right.
Just put
which one
highlights Earth 17, Earth 25.
And that's what I wonder if they're gonna do. Like these are the Elseworld titles, and like you have Earth 17, and maybe that'll interestingly open up a release schedule. So like weeks, 1 of the year all feature Earths, 3, 7, 28.
It's too confusing.
Is that too much?
Yeah.
Dang it.
No, instead we have a Bat Bite title. We have a Bat.
Come on, you need that.
To be fair, it's a miniseries.
Like another hole in my penis. I don't.
Extra leak. You hold it so it whistles when you. Never mind. So
it's a flute.
Bad flute.
Ew. That's so bad.
And I summoned Bat-Mite.
And that's how he appears. You got to get him to say his name backwards.
I mean, to be fair, it's a miniseries. And we're also getting Bizarro too,
right?
Yeah.
Which is a character that's never done anything for me.
But is he going to be on Bizarro Cube 7?
Yes, because that's a world that they actually have.
Yeah.
Bizarro has his own world now. I mean, he already had his own world, I guess.
Yeah. Because the Bizarro of the New 52 is dead.
Yeah. Is he?
Yeah.
He killed it. He died in Forever Evil. I mean, don't worry. Lex is working on another one.
Of course he is.
Yeah, so I think it's one more page.
That's the other page.
There it is.
Bong bong.
Ta-da's. Good times. All right, stop. It's breaking your face. Stop. Don't look at it anymore.
Did they watch like an episode of Through the Wormhole and they're like, we get it?
No. What it was an episode of Cosmos, and they totally misread what was happening. They're like, yes, we should bring it back. Neil deGrasse Tyson said so. It was like, no, he didn't.
No,
he didn't. He said the opposite. He said the exact opposite.
That's a brilliant idea, because now I'll find Neil deGrasse Tyson. Explain this to me.
Now, if he can do it, boss move.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I'm saying.
If he could do it, I will shake his hand and buy him dinner.
There's your challenge, sir. We want you to explain to us Convergence, please. Last but certainly not least, I want to bring up Providence. Alan Moore title with Jason Burrows, coming from Avatar. And apparently, Alan Moore has something to say about us in pop culture and taking H.P. Lovecraftian horror and making light of it. Like he's not feeling that now. I think we've stepped on the toes of a servant, if you will.
We've got Funko Pops, we got slippers,
we
got
do
plush dolls.
We've got pithy sayings, T-shirts that say that faithful shall be eaten first.
Yeah. I mean, he scares me. So, have you heard that man talk?
Lovecraft or Alan Moore?
Alan Moore.
Oh no, okay.
Alan Moore.
Have you heard his voice? There's video, but I have not literally.
It is the most frightening thing in the goddamn world.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Like I've never heard him speak. Is it like high pitched? Is it low grumbles?
No, it's like this low. Like I can't even do it.
That's
like,
That's not okay.
I'm not afraid of clowns, but if he was ever like a clown,
that would be it for you.
Oh, like there was a rumor that he was like this. There's like this small city in England, was it like Edinburgh or something like that? This guy just in a clown outfit was just walking around and he was just like waving at people in a clown outfit. And the rumor was that he was Alan Moore.
That's not okay. Yeah. I can see that being
like Alan Moore had to come out and say, "This is not me.
That is not me." Yeah. Stop saying it. Brian, to all of you. No, that's fair. Yeah. I mean, and I do think that he has an appreciation, if not outright knowledge of Lovecraftian time frames to be able to speak on.
Not many people have actually read the Lovecraft.
Yeah,
true. They're familiar with titles and names, and that's the extent of it.
Right. And because I'm not. Like I know like what Cthulhu is,
right,
and like what it looks like.
Squiggly
like,
face, like.
But like I don't.
They never really give full descriptions of what what Dagon.
Right.
Oh really?
What other elder gods. Yeah.
So okay.
Because no mortal has ever been able to look at them without
going
nuts.
Dying.
Yeah.
Okay. Or going nuts. Okay.
So there's like some concepts that are described, but nothing that fully fleshes it out. Oh my gosh! Like, because I can get away with telling people that they look like they're from Innsmouth, and nobody knows what I'm talking about.
That's a sound you dropped.
See, that was Alan Moore just got you for saying that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
But they'll ask me to special order Cthulhu slippers, so I get where he's coming from. But the thing is, it's still a terrifying book.
Right?
He
knows that like it's basically like we've made fun of guns, like Nerf. As a company has made gun safety a funny thing because you're like, hey, I'm a kid, I can shoot stuff.
Yeah.
But in reality, guns are terrifying and they kill things. Like
it's what they're made to do.
Point and shoot and it dies. Like that's it. And so Alan is like, hey, you guys are playing with guns here and you guys don't even know it. Like you're thinking it's cute. You got Cthulhu earrings and you think that's funny. No, it's not. Like this thing. And it does speak to the notion of like he is very into the occult and things like that, and so obviously as a belief system he is very in tune with that kind of thing. And I think that honestly we have bastardized those energies. I'm not saying I'm a full-on straight-up believer, but I do believe that there are bigger things in the universe than what we can see and understand. And so I think he might have heard a voice in the dark that was like, tell them, Alan, tell them it's not Cthulhu not happy. Like, I'm not. This isn't funny. Like, ooh no.
Where is it? Because there was like the sequence with the person just sitting in the room with the Victrola.
Yes. Something about that is just creeptastic.
It's just that just seemed a little bit. It's brilliant and it's not going to sell because
that's the unfortunate part because it's not a big stuff happening sort of story. Like this is a very quiet, demure sort of. Build it very, very quietly sort of thing. It's not, things fly in and punch you in the face. There's none of that.
There's no action hero that's going to swing in and shoot one of the great old ones in the face.
Right.
Like, no, the real horror is you get closer and closer to finding out the truth, the less and less you want to be there.
Exactly.
And Courtyard was fantastic. That was a one and done. Neonomicon was great.
And that's who he's doing this one with, is Jason Burrows. He did Neonomicon with him. Right. Now, I do wonder, like, when you get an Alan Moore assignment, like, is that, like, the greatest day of your life? Or does it depend on what it is he's asking you for? Like, obviously, if he's working with Jason before, and he believes in what, Jason can do and things like that, but since you link those two projects as being something at all similar, same vein, like, do you have to be of that church in order to propagate those beliefs or what? Like,
I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, like, I mean,
because they're very much on the same page because Burroughs translates that time period, that feel, that atmosphere in his art
very succinctly, very on point. So
I wonder if that's an Alan Moore thing, where he just compartmentalizes certain stories, because he works with the same artist for League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. So
like you kind of, and maybe that's why he hasn't gone back to well with certain people. Like Watchmen was Watchmen not just because of Alan, but because of Dave. But because they couldn't get back to that same place. They've never worked together again like that. Like that was its own thing. That was its thing, and it's done. Like that's so very sacrificial. Like I don't know. Like maybe that's just me reading into it too much. Bless you. But I don't know. I think that's a very interesting thing when art becomes a commentary on society through society's consumption of other art. Like that's that leads into many different rabbit holes. That's up there with the whole Instagram gallery exhibit thing. I know you guys have heard about that. You heard about that, yeah, Shelby?
It's brilliant.
This guy is taking pictures off of Instagram, blowing them up, and selling them in New York at a gallery exhibit for like 100 G's a piece. Some of them are supposed to be of famous people. Some of them are not of famous people. But he basically like just took, and I don't even know if he commented on them before, or did he add in comments from himself on the finished quote unquote artwork. But they're ruling it as transformative, so it's perfectly legal. It's all perfectly legal. But here it is, this thing where people are of course upset because he is massively making bank off of
I'm just a small time Instagram lawyer.
He's making all kinds of bank on what people are wanting to determine as their personal properties, despite the fact that it's built through social media. So I don't know, it's a very interesting sort of conversation all around. I think that we're going to see a lot more stuff like this as people are getting into these things so very peripherally. I think it would be interesting on a comic book side to see somebody write something about people that are fans of comics, not because of comic books, but the other media, and not having any real understanding or awareness of where source material comes from or what the intents were in there. I think that'd be an interesting piece.
I'm a huge Avengers fan. Have you read any Avengers stuff now?
No, I only seen the movie. You're like, that's not... It's not
a different thing.
Yeah, that's very different. I love that Captain America was literally the first Avenger. Like, that. Bring that back. No, not till issue 4. And they're like, what are you talking about? So, yeah, there's lots of layers of interesting cool in this one. I don't know where it's going to go, though. I don't know. I'm not super big on Lovecraft, but I did read this issue, and it's really good. It's interesting. It's not necessarily, psych your mind and oh my god, but considering the subtext of certain aspects, and you have to read it all the way through, obviously. Yeah, that's right.
As I'm
there's
flipping
through,
nudita. There's
nudita.
There's dong.
Get ready. What? Brian's gonna jump on it.
I don't think that one guy's alive.
I don't think he is either.
Yeah.
I think he's dead. Yeah. And yeah, he stays in the cold to keep from deteriorating.
Yeah. Very whisperer in the dark.
Yeah.
Whisper in the darkness.
And that's why she likes doing stuff with him, because he's rigid all the time. Mm-hmm. All the time. Yeah. Rigorhortis. Mm-hmm. Get it. I'm sorry, that was so bad. Alan's gonna come see me in a dream. Like, what in the hell was that?
You understand my word?
Wait until we're done recording, because I've got a video all lined up.
Oh god, here we go. Well, I tell you what, we're gonna cut this one short so we can get out here and get some lunch. But that one was Comic Town Hall. I'm Victor Dandridge.
I'm Tim Winkle.
Ryan Chatter Seymore.
And I'm still X.
You guys have a good one.